Coach Connor here. Today we are going to learn how to create a regression line on Desmos graphing. So as you all know, I'm a math teacher, and Desmos graphing is a really powerful, really useful online graphing calculator that is completely free for students. It has been integrated as a plugin to both the SAT assessment as well as most of the STEM AP exams, so it's a pretty popular graphing calculator. Okay, so a regression line is more commonly referred to as a line of best fit, which I'm sure more people have probably heard of. Lines of best fit pop up a lot in math and science, more than you would think. So thankfully, Desmos does a lot of the heavy lifting of creating these regression lines for us. Okay, so to figure out what a line of best fit is for, let's say, a certain data set, it begins with creating a data table so that we can keep track of all of the data we are trying to tell Desmos to work with. Okay, so how do we do that? We go to the top left corner where it has this add item plus. We click on that and we insert a table. Okay, remember that a line of best fit is just the most accurate mathematical prediction of where the next data point would be located, where we're tracking all of the data using a scatter plot. So we're essentially gonna take every data point, put it into this table. It's going to create a series of coordinates, and then we're gonna tell Desmos to connect the dots. Okay, so let's say I put in the coordinates 2, 5. 4, 7. Let's go with -3, -6, 8, 17, and then let's do a crazy one, 3.2. Okay, so if I zoom out a little bit over here on the right, we can see that all of those points have now been plotted on our graph. And it kind of already looks like a straight line, okay? The x-coordinate for each of these points that have been graphed is represented by the first column of data. The y-coordinates for each of these points that have been graphed are represented by the second column of data, okay? So now we want Desmos to tell us an equation of a straight line that would be the best fit for all of our data points. It's really easy to do. We go over here to this button off to the side of our table. It says add regression. We click on that. We make sure it's set to linear because we want a straight line. And then this is the equation. If we click on this, Desmos will create that equation in its own box. This is the equation for the line of best fit that most accurately connects these points, okay? Like I said, with a line of best fit, it's just most accurate. It's impossible to connect all of these points in a perfectly straight line because we can see some of them fall off the line, okay? Now, there are multiple types of regressions or lines of best fit. We can see if a linear model, for example, is better than or worse than an exponential one if we just tell Desmos to create a different regression. So I can tell it to create an exponential one. And we can see if it's stronger or weaker than the linear one by comparing the correlation, okay? The correlation is related to this r² number. So basically, the higher this number is, the more of a fit that type of regression is. So right here we have 0.81. We want that number to be as close to 1 as possible. When I switch it back to linear, we see that we have r is 0.9937. So that's actually super close to 1, okay? So in this case, we would say that this data is most likely a linear data set. It is not an exponential one. Okay, that is just an example of how I might use Screencastify to go through a quick instructional tool that may be used in one of my math courses. Thank you all for listening.